Now, Terastal Festival has been a super hyped set to say the least, and truth be told, I didn't think it would take nearly 4.5 years to see another Eevee themed set. I mean, Pokemon waited such a long time to release another Eevee set, and it really does make you wonder why they waited such a long time. However, a bigger question is, will the long wait time only increase the demand and desire for Terastal Festival in the long term? Well, I'm actually going to be answering that throughout this video. However, Terastal Festival has a lot of positives about the set. You know, firstly, you've got some of the highest caliber of artworks within Pokemon's history within this set. You know, you've got the Roaring Moon SAR, the Umbreon SAR, and Raging Bolt, to just name a few. But you know, another thing that comes up is, can collectors even keep up with the wild release schedule? However, I just want to say, if it is your first time on the channel, my name is Phil. I run this Pokemon investing and Pokemon collecting YouTube channel. If you'd love to stay up to date with the world of Pokemon, definitely feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'd honestly love to have you on board. Though Terastal Festival does seem to be in a position to be one of the most desired sets of all time. And I really do think it will compete with Japanese Pokemon 151 in the long run, and even Eevee Heroes. Now, I have my own thoughts on where I think Terastal Festival will end up as an investment, which I will answer later on in this video when more context is given. Though in terms of collectors being able to keep up with all the new cards, I think it's quite difficult. I think the amount of new sets releasing is getting hard to keep up with, and people need to be more strategic with where they place their money. Now, Terastal Festival is looking like such a fun set to rip open, and if you're like me and you love ripping open Japanese Pokemon sets, then now's actually the perfect time to talk about today's video sponsor, which is Buy. So Buy is a Japanese proxy shopping service that enables international customers to purchase items from Japanese online stores and auctions. Now, one of the better aspects of Buy is the ability to buy Japanese products that not normally can be found in retailers outside of Japan. So Buy actually acts as a middleman throughout the purchasing process, and it facilitates access to products that may not be directly available for overseas shipping. So by using Buy, you're actually able to buy exclusive Japanese products, and Buy then handles the purchasing process on your behalf and arranges the international delivery to your door. So, you know, during the busy holiday season right now, if you're looking to add some Japanese Pokemon products to your collection, or you're looking to buy some gifts for someone, right now is a great time. Now, Buy also ships to multiple regions, including North America, Oceania, and Europe. And the best part is that all viewers get access to an exclusive 10% discount on their first order. So definitely feel free to use that this holiday season. You can find all the details within the description of this video. However, with all that said, I want to just go over the prices of these Terastal Festival cards. All right, so I'm looking at some of the prices of these cards. Now, very, very interesting things are happening with the Eevee cards, the SARs, the Masterball Reverse Holos, right? So the first one I'm on is the Umbreon Masterball Reverse Holo, which is technically the most expensive card in the set. And honestly, I think everyone could have predicted this Umbreon Chase card, you know, the whole lot. We can all guess how that is, right? The Umbreon Chase card is sitting at around, you can see the eBay last sold listings. I'm just looking here, around 299 USD per raw copy, 289. You know, we're looking at around that kind of pricing for the Masterball Reverse Holo. That is quite expensive for a raw card, though I'm not that surprised. And truth be told, I know this is going to sound pretty crazy, though that's actually much better than I was expecting. I was expecting some crazy 600 USD pricing. Even though it's really expensive, it's still not to those absurd levels. I think it's just before that point, to be honest. So I don't think it's too bad, right? I think it's actually okay considering how rare it is to pull, right? And considering how expensive Terastal Festival booster boxes are, and you know, there's only 10 inside the booster box, and you know, even that, you're not guaranteed a Masterball Reverse Holo, you know, you might have to open 2 or 3 to get one. You know, I do think the price point is actually pretty justified, okay? But moving on, I can also see the Espeon Masterball Reverse Holo, and right now that's selling for around 54 USD, and this one as a pair sold for 66 USD. Now, that pricing looks okay to me as well, though it is quite a big price discrepancy between the Umbreon and the Espeon. Quite interesting to see. So I'm pretty excited to see where these prices will level out. Maybe they won't be able to maintain the pricing, okay? The reason for that is because when you've got a $300 Masterball Reverse Holo, then the Espeon's $50, and then the SARs are all 50, 60, whatever they are, right? You know, collectors kind of just take a step back. And I think because if the prices get too high, too much in every single direction, I actually think that can have the opposite effect. I think people can just be like, ugh, I'm not buying anything. I'm not buying nothing because it's just too expensive. So it can have that bit of a reverse effect. So I don't think that prices are going to go way out of reach for that many people. I think a lot of people are kind of over assuming how expensive some of the cards are going to be. Yes, maybe the Umbreon Masterball Reverse Holo will be super expensive, but when you've got so many SARs within this set and the pull rates aren't that difficult, I do think that the demand will not be able to keep up with it. I just think that the supply will balance it out a little bit, right? That's just my personal opinion because I do think collectors are just going to start getting fatigued. A master set of this is going to be ridiculously expensive. The Japanese set's going to be expensive. I don't even want to imagine how much the English master set's going to be when Prismatic Evolution comes out. So I do think that the pricing will kind of stabilize to something more attainable as the time goes on. That is my personal opinion. So I'm on the Umbreon SAR right now, and I can see right now best offer accepted around 258 USD. 303 USD, 263. Again, very expensive for a raw copy, though I do have an intuition they will slowly go down in value. Just like I said, I think the pull rates aren't as bad as Evolving Skies, Eevee Heroes kind of levels, and I do think that we will see the prices slowly come down because there's just so much to collect. Maybe the Umbreon may hold because, you know, it is the most desired Pokemon within this whole set. You know, that's just how it is, and I'm so thankful for all your comments about me also wearing a singlet. I mean, that has been going on so much. So what happened was I actually filmed all these videos wearing a singlet, and then once I saw the response and everyone going, whoa, singlet boy, singlet man, I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? I've already kind of filmed these videos, and now I kind of filmed this video in a singlet because it's super hot in Australia. But right after this, forget about Singlet Phil, bro. You have made it to the final point of Singlet Phil. This is, maybe if the fan demand is there, there will be more Singlet Phil. But for now, Singlet Phil may be making a final appearance, though never say never. Anyway, moving on to the next one, which is the Sylveon Special Art Rare. Now again, you can see right here, selling, you know, last sold on eBay. I do like to see Japanese cards like this because this is the easiest way to look at them through eBay sold listings because you just get the most accurate price representation. But you can see the Sylveon EX SAR sold for 169 USD, and you can also see 128 USD going down to around 150 USD. Still very expensive, man. I mean, you got to think, if you want to collect all of these, whoa, just getting that Umbreon Masterball Reverse Holo, then getting the Umbreon SAR, and then getting the Sylveon SAR, wow, you are already close to exceeding $1,000 just for 3 cards. Very high prices. Moving on to the next one, interesting one is the Vaporeon. Now, the only one that I can see right now is this one that sold for 35 USD, but there was a $21 shipping fee. So we can kind of assume that this is maybe selling for around 50 USD per copy. Again, quite expensive. Another one that we can see on the recently sold is the Espeon. Surprisingly, this is where the prices are now kind of going a bit lower. So you can see the Sylveon selling for a lot, but the Espeon selling for around this $64 range here, $50 range here, $55 range here, $46. So we can see there is some price stabilization happening. Not all the SARs can hold that price point. Like I said, there is those few pockets that can hold that price point, right? Moving on forward again, you can kind of see here that the Leafeon as well, selling for around 46 USD. That's the most recently sold price. You can see here 41 USD, 42, and again 45 USD. Still expensive. Still, believe me, for a raw copy, that's a lot. But then again, not that $250 level, $180 level. So again, prices are going to be interesting for these Eevees. I don't think each one can be that high price. I think the market just has to give at some point. English Prismatic Evolutions, I will be interested to see. Just my own thoughts. I do think the pull rates will be a little bit easier than other sets that we've seen. That is my intuition. No data to prove that. That is purely just going on instinct, though I'll be interested to see when pull rate data comes out for Prismatic Evolutions, if it's going to be easy or difficult. That's going to be that's kind of the crucial knowledge we need to know how expensive some of the singles are going to be. So right now I can also see the Flareon SAR selling for around 45 USD. So you can see some of the evolutions are finding that price point. So you can see you've got the Sylveon, the Umbreon selling for high amounts, the Flareon, the Leafeon. These other evolutions are selling for around this $45, $50 range. Moving on to the next one, you can also see the Jolteon selling for around, you can see here right now, 59 USD, 37 USD, 39. Again, another price drop. To be fair, and I'm just going to say it, I do think these Jolteons are is quite weak. I do think that the V and V Max Jolteon artworks from Sword and Shield blow this one out of the water by a lot. I think this Jolteon artwork is a big disappointment, to be honest, so I'm not that surprised at the price. Like, even me, if I pulled this card, I don't even know if I would keep it in my collection. I do not like this Jolteon artwork, to be honest, and I know that might disappoint some people, but I do think it just doesn't feel like they did it justice. When I look at the V Max artwork from Jolteon, it's so good, man. When I look at the V alternate art from Jolteon, such a cool and unique artwork. The purples, the colors, the way they blend, so good. When I look at this SAR, something about the artwork is very unappealing to me, and I think the price reflects that in the market as well. Moving on to the next one as well, we can see the Glaceon Special Art Rare, again selling for around that 45 USD, 64 USD. I do think now some of these evolutions are quite fairly priced. I do think that we will see them come down. Moving again, we can also see here the Eevee. Right here, we've got a sale of 40 USD. Not too bad. I do prefer the Eevee from Twilight Masquerade, but nonetheless, still, it's okay. But there's a lot of cards selling for a lot. And because the price is like this, it does make Terastal Festivals quite an interesting set to open, because there is some chance that you can pull the Masterball Reverse Holo, you can pull the SAR. You know what? You could actually even technically pull in one booster box. Very unlikely, but you could pull like a Espeon Masterball Reverse Holo and an Umbreon SAR. I mean, you technically could do that, right? Moving on here, we can also see the Roaring Moon selling for around that 25 USD, 34 USD. So you can see some of these other SARs cannot keep up with that price point. Now, I did speak in terms of Prismatic Evolutions, the English set that's coming out, hasn't been released yet, but I did say that that was kind of my intuition for what would happen. I did think the Evolutions would be on that high price point, and then the other SARs or special illustration rares in the set won't get that price. In the Japanese, that's what's being reflected right now in the market. English, we're gonna have to wait and see, though I do think that that's gonna still hold in English. I think the Eevee cards are gonna be expensive, and I think your other cards will not maybe get that price point. Maybe the Roaring Moon, because it is a Shinji Kanda artwork, though again, this is just predictions, right? I'm just thinking ahead. I'm just trying to think of where it's gonna go. Now moving on to the Raging Bolt, which I think is a really cool artwork, but you know, selling for $16 last sale point, $16 as well, $17 here. Sure, the shipping was maybe a little bit expensive, but then again, here you go, $15 as well. Not selling for the price points of those other cards. Now, as I was saying earlier in the video, I do think Terastal Festival is in a solid position to become one of the most desired Pokemon products in history, especially with the roster of Pokemon inside the set. Though, while speaking about this, I think Terastal Festival is in the top 10 best Pokemon sets at the moment, and it really does bring up the question, what are the other 9 best Pokemon investments right now? And the answer to that is right within this video here. Within this video, I look over the 10 best Pokemon investments and I discuss my thought process behind them. If you're interested in that, click that video that's appearing on screen and I'll see you there.